Momoshiki was the main Otsutsuki antagonist within the Chunin exam arc of Boruto. He is a very arrogant, power-hungry character that's only goals really align with selfishly gaining more power. He is very dogmatic and believes himself as the ultimate being above everyone else, which is essentially a superiority complex. And even with that being said, he is sometimes intrigued by the culture of humans, comparing them to his own culture a lot of the times. Now, Momoshiki also stood as a protagonist that was actually able to slightly challenge the two forces of Naruto and Sasuke, who are really some of the strongest characters in the series right now. When it comes to the role of Momoshiki in the Boruto series, it is to primarily be that driving force that shifts Boruto into a realm beyond the shinobi world and kind of into celestial territory. Considering at this point we've seen the extent of shinobi versus shinobi conflicts through the Naruto storyline, Momoshiki giving Boruto the Karma Seal effectively intertwines Boruto within the affairs separate from the shinobi world, and ultimately leads Boruto down a path that is very unorthodox compared to that of his fellow ninja. And it should also be stated that along with Toneri, Momoshiki is a character who helps connect and give insight about Boruto's connection with the Otsutsuki clan. Now, when I analyze the core values that Momoshiki holds, I am brought to essentially two main focuses. If you can remember, Momoshiki, when looking at Naruto, he told him, "I pity you, Fox. You have all that power, but no way of passing it on to the next generation." That's essentially what he said to Naruto. Now later, after Momoshiki had absorbed Kinshiki, Momoshiki then proceeded to say, "The transfer of power is the law of our clan." So these words and that conversation that he had with Naruto before about him pitying Naruto for having no way to transfer power on, these words signify the immense allegiance that Momoshiki has to his clan. He says that the transfer of power is law within our clan. So that means that is one of the core principles of his clan, is the transfer of power. And him saying that he pities Naruto because he has no way of transferring the power to the next generation is essentially telling you that power is a great way to understand Momoshiki's core values. It's all about the transfer of power and acquiring more power in order for it to eventually just be passed on. So the core of Momoshiki's values really revolve around acquiring more power and then being able to transfer the power. Now when you think about it, Momoshiki did follow the law of his clan, which is the transfer of power, when he gave Boruto the seal that is labeled Karma in the manga. When he gave Boruto that seal, he is essentially following the law of his clan. So at the end of the day, even though Momoshiki has a superiority complex and all the other stuff, when he is defeated by Boruto, he still follows the law of his clan and transfers power to Boruto, stating that once an individual has defeated an Otsutsuki, they can cease to remain an ordinary individual. So this right here just emphasizes what Momoshiki holds dear to him and what are his guiding principles. Okay, so after Momoshiki is bested in a final clash versus Boruto, the scene transitions to a spirit version of Momoshiki communicating with Boruto. And I want to reinforce that the way they transitioned from Momoshiki losing into Boruto finishing his Rasengan, the transition effect was purposeful, and I'm going to explain that a little further down. During the final clash, Momoshiki states, "This is nothing. I am Momoshiki Otsutsuki." Once Boruto's Rasengan overpowers him and connects, he states, "This can't be me? Defeated?" While the camera slowly zooms closer into his third eye until it transitions through the eye and then shows a first-person view of what Momoshiki sees, and that's Boruto finishing the Rasengan. You gotta look at the transition. The third eye, in most cases, represents the gate that leads to spaces of high consciousness. So for them to transition through the third eye that Momoshiki possesses is them possibly showing Momoshiki in a state of enlightenment when the camera is showing you a first-person view of what Momoshiki sees. And while Boruto is finishing the Rasengan, Momoshiki sees the Jogan activating midway through the Rasengan, which then transitions into a sort of spirit realm conversation where the prophecy is said. So right now, I'm going to break down Momoshiki's prophecy in the anime. I did a video about a year ago analyzing Momoshiki's manga prophecy, and it was very much accurate considering all the information we know now. The two are slightly different in some ways, but I am going to analyze the anime edition now. It starts off, "Can you sense my presence, human child? Now I understand. You have strongly inherited the power of the Otsutsuki. However, you are still inexperienced." This line right here, Momoshiki is highly intrigued by Boruto possessing the power of the Otsutsuki. He then follows up with, "You cannot see through your own destiny." Momoshiki is essentially telling Boruto that his intuition is lacking for him to be possessing the power of the Otsutsuki, which is kind of funny considering that Momoshiki couldn't even see his own fate, and he's telling Boruto that you can't see through your own destiny. Yet Momoshiki couldn't even see through his. The next part, "I can see your destiny very clearly." Momoshiki is able to see people's fate with his byakugan, and he has read Boruto's fate clearly. He then follows with, "Beware, those blue eyes shall eventually take everything from you." Momoshiki is essentially telling Boruto that those blue eyes that make Boruto human, foolish, and reckless will lead to everything going downhill. It should be noted that Momoshiki has white eyes, and he very much looks at Boruto's blue eyes as a sign of humanity and human nature. And there's always been an emphasis on Boruto's blue eyes. I knew even Sarada said your eyes are bluer than Lord Seven's. So Boruto is essentially, his eyes represent basically his path. Boruto, his path is very much different than Naruto, so saying that Sarada mentioning that his eyes were bluer than Lord Seven's was very much a backup to Boruto having a different path than what Naruto really had. And know this, those who defeat gods cannot remain ordinary individuals. After seeing Boruto's fate, Momoshiki decides that he is going to transfer power to Boruto, probably because he is slightly intrigued by Boruto's fate and he has reached a newfound state of clarity within himself, but also because he is possibly following the law of his clan, which is the transfer of power. Then Momoshiki proceeds to say, "Reflect well upon thy fate as you proceed in life, human child." Momoshiki wants Boruto to think about his faith as he continues to walk his path in life. So that was kind of my breakdown of the anime version of Momoshiki's prophecy. It's slightly different than in the manga in terms of the vocabulary that was used, and some of the stuff just wasn't in the manga that he said. Overall, I think it should convey the same similar type of message, a little bit different though. Also, I want to talk about this thing I've always wanted to say, even when the manga was a thing, but I kind of wanted to wait till the anime appears. Momoshiki's appearance post defeat, I believe that this appearance that Momoshiki takes on is his original appearance before he started becoming obsessed with power and chakra pills. He seems to be at peace in this appearance, and he seems to be very calm, and he doesn't seem as hungry for power in this form, and he just seems to be more reasonable and calm. In terms of Momoshiki's abilities, they're pretty well known. He has Byakugan, and this grants him the same power as all other Byakugan users, except for the fact that Momoshiki could see an individual's fate with his Byakugan. And in conjunction with Byakugan, Momoshiki also targets his opponent's chakra points with a fighting style similar to that of the Hyuga's Gentle Fist. On top of that, he also has Rinnegan capabilities with a Rinnegan in each of his palms, and when he absorbs Kinshiki, a Rinnegan in his forehead. So Momoshiki is able to absorb any chakra based techniques and then release a more powerful version of the technique. He is also able to turn individuals into chakra pills and then gain their chakra and techniques when they are ingested, as seen with Kinshiki. Momoshiki is also able to fly, and it has been shown that he can create black chakra receivers. The last thing worth mentioning is that Momoshiki is adept in taijutsu, but that is definitely his weakness at the same time, because Momoshiki does no type of training. He literally just steals other people's techniques and uses power that is essentially not his own. So when it comes to taijutsu, that is Momoshiki's weakest point, and he becomes very frustrated when opponents start whooping his ass with that straight strong fish taijutsu. That's gonna wrap up my analysis of Momoshiki within the Boruto anime. Please leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, if you're entertained, click that like button. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Join the Real Ninja Nation, and appreciate you guys watching. I'm out of here, guys. Peace.